Everyday superpower. We talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Watch until the end of this video. All right, you silly sausage, because it is worthwhile. You're going to be taking home game and education and human experience that you won't do elsewhere. I'm going to talk to you about relationships. I'm going to talk to you about attraction in this one. So let me give you some insight. She can't ever understand you fully. She can't ever understand you fully. She can't know about you fully. She can't work you out. No. You fulfill this, and I'll tell you how to do this organically and to your benefit, as opposed to playing games, right? I'll tell you how to do this organically and to your benefit in this world. She can't understand this because she understands everybody else. Let me read the note I have put down. I've put down, never let her know everything about you. What is understood is boring. When you hear a story unfold, it's more entertaining than the second time you've heard it, than the third, than the fifth, than the 10th, right? When you watch Lord of the Flipping Rings, the trilogy, you are watching a story unfold. When you have understood the story and experienced the story, you're less likely than to watch it and experience it again, right? Across the board, all films, any story, video games, television series, so on and so forth. Some people might be fanatical and think that's such a good television series, I want to rewatch that again. But if you look at the statistic of who hasn't rewatched it in comparison to who has, I bet there is the steepest decline you've ever seen in your life, right? You don't want to be that story. Well, what do you mean? Does that mean that I can't let her know about myself? Does that mean I have to hold secrets and so forth? No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. What it means is that you as a man, not out of wanting to please a woman, but out of you wanting to become a somebody yourself, you need to create a momentum and a compounding interest of your own intelligence, of your own understanding, of your own development, of your own work, of your own concentration on reality and your life experience. You need to focus on yourself to such a high degree in regards to becoming someone, in regards to pursuing your passion, in regards to pursuing your entity and what speaks to you. You need to have such a unfathomable amount of experience and know-how, intelligence that caters just to you, not what you've read out of a, in England, the GCSE notebook. Oh, I'm good, I passed the tests at school. That's irrelevant. You need esoteric knowledge of self. You need occult knowledge. You need knowledge of that which other people don't know. You need game, which is uncommon knowledge. That is way more effective, way more efficient, way more beneficial than anything anybody could teach you wholeheartedly. And she'll come into your world, which is the way it should be. You don't enter her world because she'll use and abuse you and be in masculine position. She comes into your world and you teach her things, and you have this never-ending stream of information that is of benefit, not like information on Pokemon, not on information of flipping stuff that does not apply into the real world unless you are benefiting financially of it. Real information that is a benefit and understanding and creates a higher spiritual entity of self. She'll think, I've never ever met a man like this. I never will meet a man like this. And if she has met a man like this, I bet it's her father. And her father figure is of age. And her father figure has taught her things that have created such abundance of knockoff. And now she, as an independent individual, is disconnect from that fatherly figure. You portray that in your own self through this unending guidance and leadership capability. This is game. How do I do it? Well, what are you interested in? I would advise you learn about people, because people are going to buy your product if you're a creative. People are going to work below you if you're a corporate entity. You are going to engage with other people if you are a corporate figure or somebody working within a business. If you're an entrepreneur, you want people working below you, and you need to know how to engage with them, and you need to know how to market, and you need to know how to sell, and you need to know how to understand people and sociology and understand social engineering and understand all of these different ideas and concepts and understandings that align with the human psyche. This is what I would advise you do if you want to become someone who attains and achieves their purpose, as well as somebody who can guide others to get what they want, or at least be in position to look up to yourself and think he can get what he wants because he has this knowledge I've never come across in my entire life. But she can't understand everything. Do you know where I'm coming from? She's never going to understand everything, because as you learn one thing, what was it? I don't know the term behind it, but you, let's say, because I was into health and fitness, so I understand this as a concept in metaphorical terms. When you first get to the gym, such as anybody, everyone gets to the gym, and then suddenly, within 2 weeks, everyone's walking like this, like they've got 2 barrels under their arms. Everyone's a professional bodybuilder. Everybody feels like they are more than they're not, because they have garnered a 0 to 100 knowledge on that particular subject. Such as me, if I started, I know nothing about mathematics, but if I started learning about mathematics and educating myself on mathematics, I would probably have an egocentric sense of self and a misunderstanding of my understanding of how much I really know, right? Was it Socrates who said, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything? Because as you continue, he didn't say that literally, you know where I'm coming from. It's the idea that as you continue to learn more, you realize and open up so many pathways of understanding and continuation of that knowledge that you really know such a finite nonsense amount of information in relation to the entire subject. Yeah, you never will learn everything. I can read 10 books, I can read 100 books, but then there's 1,000 books, then there's 100 million books, I'm never going to read them all. So that tiny little percentile as to which I've read, yes, is 100-fold that one book I initially read, or 100 million, 100 infinite potential more than the 0 books I've read if I never read a book in my life. But I digress. I'm on a train of thought here. She can't understand you thoroughly, because the moment she does, she will get bored of you, use and abuse you, and leave you and find someone more interesting. She wants to be interested. She wants fascination. She needs stimulation of her imagination. And if her boyfriend sits at home, watches Netflix after getting bossed around by his manager in the workplace in a shit-end job, comes back, gets paid the same every month, has no idea of what a promotion is, hangs around with the same people who are bums, has inspiration because he's a man, has motivation because he's a man, but he never acts out on it, so he looks weak. He is weak. Then she's going to look at you as you are. And then the man who comes across, who happens to just enter this sphere of your relationship and communication, who has got more, who knows more, and by chance he's entered there, because normally speaking, he's not going to be engaging with these people anyway. But the moment he does, she's going to look at him like he is a flipping god. You can be that man who enters that relationship, or you can be that man who is in that relationship. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. Don't stop moving, and then she will never understand you. Don't give up the game of anything. This applies to everything, right? Oh, how do you know? It could apply to your friendships. It could apply to your relationships external to a sexual, heterosexual relationship. It could just be a thing in your day-to-day activity. You can't sit there and explain yourself forever to people. Only people who do that have got nothing at all. If you can explain who you are, where you come from, what you've read, what your intellect is, and what you're passionate about, if you can explain that, then you've got you're shallow. You're shallow. There's no entity within you. Do you think Jeff Bezos is just clued up on a few books? No, he's got a fathom of information that would be undecipherable to the average human being and probably will never be unlocked. But the person who works in a pattern, the person who is stuck in a pattern because he's scared to leave the pattern, is dead on his 2 feet. And she sees that. And she doesn't respect that. That's game. I'm signing out. One love, people.